Hey, I'm Chris, and welcome to the Think Creative channel. This channel is built specifically for automotive dealerships. We focus on automotive marketing that drives real visibility, real leads, and real revenue. Not just wasted spends, no more gut feelings, what actually produces a return on investment for your dealership. In this video, I want to tackle a question every dealership owner and general manager wrestles with at some point in their career. Where should my marketing budget actually go? What's going to actually drive sales? Because right now you're probably being pulled in 10 different directions. You've got Google Ads, SEO, social media, third-party lead providers, video production, direct mail, sponsorships, events. And every vendor says their channel is the most important one. Every platform promises the best ROI. And most dealerships end up spreading their budget across too many things without a clear strategy for any of them. So let's fix that before it gets any worse. The general guideline from NAD is that dealerships should spend about 6% to 8% of gross revenue on marketing. For a dealership generating 20 million in annual revenue, that's roughly 1.2 to 1.6 million per year, or 100,000 to 130,000 per month. Within that budget, the split is increasingly shifting towards digital. 60 to 70% digital, 30 to 40% traditional. And within digital, the breakdown typically looks something like this. Paid search and SEM takes the largest share. Social media advertising takes 10 to 15%. And then programmatic and display take a slice, followed by SEO and website investment take another slice. And then you layer in email and CRM marketing to take a smaller but important piece. And those are all useful benchmarks, but benchmarks don't account for your specific market, your competition, your brand mix, or your goals. A dealership in a rural market with one competitor is a very different reality than a dealership in DFW competing with 30 other stores within a 20-mile radius selling the same inventory. A franchise dealer with manufacturer co-op dollars has different math than an independent used car lot. Benchmarks give you a starting point. Strategy is what gives you a plan that actually fits your business or your dealership. So let's talk about the most expensive mistake, which is spending without tracking. Before we talk about where to allocate budget, let's address the biggest problem in dealership marketing. Most dealerships don't know what's actually working, and that's a problem. They spend money across multiple channels every month. Leads come in, cars get sold. But connecting to a specific marketing dollar to a specific sale is not being done. That's where the data falls apart for most stores. Without proper tracking and attribution, every budget decision is a guess. And guesses are expensive. You're either spending too much on channels that aren't performing or not enough on channels that could be driving way more volume. This is why the first marketing investment every dealership should make is in tracking and attribution infrastructure. If you can't measure it, you can't manage it, and you can't make data-driven decisions. Get your website conversion tracking right. Every form, every call, every chat. Get your CRM connected to your marketing platform so lead source data is attached from the start. Get call tracking in place so phone leads aren't a black hole. And get someone who can match marketing data to your DMS to calculate real cost per sale. Once the data is clean, budget allocation becomes clear. And without that clean data, you're flying blind and calling it strategy, but it's not. So let's talk about a framework for budget allocation. Here's how I think about budget allocation for most dealerships. This is a framework, not a formula, because every store is going to be different. But let's start with your owned assets, your website and your SEO. This is the foundation. If your website doesn't convert visitors into leads and your organic presence is weak, every other dollar you spend works harder than it should. A strong website amplifies everything. ads perform better because quality scores are higher. Your third-party platforms perform better because buyers who Google your dealership name find something impressive. Your social media efforts have somewhere credible to send people. A weak website drains everything. It makes ads more expensive, it kills trust, and it wastes traffic you're paying for. Allocate a meaningful part of your budget to make sure your website performs, ranks in search, and converts visitors into leads at a competitive rate. Then you build your paid search. Google Ads, when structured properly, is consistently one of the most efficient lead sources for dealerships. Buyers are always actively searching for what you sell. They're typing in used trucks near me or Toyota dealership Dallas. You're meeting demand that already exists. That's fundamentally different from trying to create demand with display ads, social media, or direct mail. Page search should be a core pillar of your budget, not an afterthought, not whatever's left over. Then layer in reputation and local presence on top of that. Your Google business profile, your review management, your local SEO, your local listing consistency. These are all low-cost, high-impact investments that compound over time. We've covered these in other videos on the channel. They don't require massive spends, they just require consistency. Then consider social media and video. These are trust building and awareness channels. They support your other efforts, create familiarity in your market so people can put a face to the name. But you got to budget them accordingly. They're important for brand building, but for most dealerships, they shouldn't eat the same budget allocation as direct lead gen channels like paid search. Finally, evaluate third-party platforms. AutoTrader, Cars.com, Car Gurus. Use them where the data clearly supports a reasonable cost per sale. Cut them where it doesn't. Don't keep spending on platforms out of habit or fear. Evaluate them with the same financial scrutiny you apply to everything else in your business. So let's talk about when to increase and when to cut. Budget allocation isn't a set it and forget it exercise. Markets change, competition shifts, seasonality plays a role, new vehicle launches create demand spikes, economic conditions affect buyer behavior. So here's a few rules of thumb. Increase spend on channels where cost per sale is low and there's room to grow. If your Google Ads cost per sale is $300 and you're not maxing out available search volume, that's where incremental budget should go first. You've proven the return, scale it. Cut spend on channels where cost per sale is high and trending in the wrong direction. If a third-party provider costs $2,000 per sale and that number has been climbing for 6 months, it's time to reallocate that money somewhere more efficient. You also want to shift budget toward owned assets during slow months. When market demand dips and lead volume naturally drops, invest in things that build long-term value. Website improvements, content creation, SEO, and reputation building. Those investments don't produce leads today, but they produce leads for years. And never, ever cut your entire marketing budget during a downturn. We talked about this in a previous video. Check it out in the show notes. The dealerships that go dark during slow periods lose visibility, and that takes months to rebuild. Your competitors are hoping you go silent because it makes it easier for them. Don't give them what they want. So the real question to ask here is, at the end of the day, budget allocation comes down to this one thing. For every dollar I spend on this channel, what do I get back? Not in impressions, not in clicks, not in engagement, not in brand lift, in actual vehicle sales. When you can answer that question for every channel in your marketing mix, you don't need a consultant to tell you where to spend your money. The data tells you. The hard part isn't the math. It's building the infrastructure to get the data right in the first place. That's where most dealerships need the most help. And that's where the conversation should start. So if you want a clear picture of how your marketing budget is performing across channels, our team offers a free marketing audit. We'll break down your spend, your results by channel, and show you where budget is being wasted and where it should be redirected for maximum impact. It's no pressure, no pitch, just giving you data and recommendations. The link is below. If this video helped you rethink how your dealership allocates its marketing budget, make sure to like, subscribe, and drop a comment with topics you want covered next on the channel. I'm Chris with Think Creative. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.